All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very, very much for coming out today. I appreciate everyone here and in the Newton office, as well as all of our offices kind of thing. This is a very different kind of sales meeting for us because we have 5 locations and we want everyone to kind of be brought up to speed, but trying to do 5 different sales meetings kind of thing makes it really, really crazy. So we're doing this hybrid Zoom together apart thing, and so we're all here together right now, and so all the offices are here. Everyone's going to be participating. You'll be hearing from all the branch managers. You're going to hear from me and Ming. We're going to go through all that. We're going to go through agent awards, and so I just want to kind of throw out a quick welcome and tell you thank you so much for taking some time. I know real estate's crazy right now, and we're very thankful because you're either busy or broke in our business. And so I'd much rather be busy. So I'm very, very thankful for that. Today, we were very blessed to have a guest speaker come with us. So Carrie's with Luter, Larkin and Hunter, and we have a wonderful relationship with Luter, Larkin and Hunter. Well, the microphone's here and the camera's there. So okay, well then I'll move over here. I'll move out of the way, but so this is Carrie. I'll let you introduce yourself. She's with Luter, Larkin and Hunter. We love our relationship with you guys, and we love you. We really appreciate working with you. You are very, very supportive for our agents as well as everything at LL&H. So take it away and have fun.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carrie. I'm with Luter, Larkin and Hunter. I help with the marketing for our Newnan and Peachtree City offices. I want to start with saying we do appreciate the relationship we have with you guys. I think it's started, last year we really started and it has just taken off, and I think we're going to go great places and do big things. We do have 24 offices now. Our newest office just opened in Griffin. So, but the good thing about it is if you use that Max 1 VIP at luterlaw.com, it's like you have your own personal attorney team. You're going to be working with Beth, Deb, Gina, Twee, the same people every time. They get to know you, you get to know them. It's a relationship. They know how you work, you get to know how they work. And I think that's the best thing about it, but you can still close at any of our office locations, drop off earnest money at any of our office locations. We work as a team. It's no cost to you to close somewhere else. It's no cost to your clients. So just wanted to start with saying that. And then I was asked last night to say something motivational. And I went home and I started Googling motivational phrases, and I was like, this is really cheesy. So I just started thinking, and personally in my life right now, I'm going through just a lot. And, someone very close to me has tried to take me down to pretty much nothing. And I started working out because I was like, I didn't have anything else to focus on. And I've been doing these workout classes at HotWorks, and I take this one class over and over and over again. And it's the cycling class, and it's a virtual instructor. And one of the things she says is, when you're faced with an adversity, you can smile in the face of adversity and run towards it, or you can look at it and run in the opposite direction. And I hear it probably 6 times a week because I take that class over and over again. And it really got me thinking about, like, for myself and for just anybody, like, we all have a choice every day to, when something approaches us or a bad client, someone that's rude to us, we can either smile in the face of adversity and keep going, or we can back away. So I guess that's my motivational piece is, we all have choices to make, and don't let anybody take you down, because we're all worthy and we all have something great to give. So anytime someone tries to take you down a couple notches, I know almost all of y'all, and we're all great people. So smile in the face of adversity, and let's all run towards it and not back away, because I think that's the best thing we can do. So that's my motivational. Is there anything else or questions or?
Well, we love you, and we know that it almost seems a little bit of a challenge, like not everybody knows that you've been going through a rather
Yeah.
difficult stage. And it almost seems kind of like me, right? Like, hey, talk about something positive. But we all have a lot of challenges, and you are still one of those people that is always bright and cheerful and positive. And even when you're having a hard time, even when you get hung up on the phone, when you have those really difficult clients, that kind of stuff, to still keep that same attitude. And I know that it's been a tough time for you, but being able to do that and still smile and still lead the way you do, I just think it's really, really positive.
I'm not going to let anybody take my happy. So
yeah, there you go. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, I'm gonna go back here and let's jump back into here really quick. All right. So, oh no, we're totally good. All right. So I kind of wanted to start off, and I want to talk about where we are in the market. So, right now, that's the big question that we get, right? How's the market? So how's the market? Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this is interactive, right? Like generally speaking, I mean, because honestly, the challenge for me is I get so many answers on this. And I think a lot of it comes that we're just not really looking at things kind of from the big picture. So before I ask you to really give me that answer, I want to kind of walk you through kind of thing. Because everybody remembers 2008, right? 2008, 2009. And what happened in 2008, 2009? We had a recession, right? What happened to housing?
They went to the bank.
Yeah. Right. So, but look at what happened on the last, well, this has the last 5 recessions in it. If you actually look at the last 7 recessions, 5 of the last 7 recessions that we had, property values increased on them. So 1991, we only had about a 3% dip. And then in 2008, we had a huge dip. Why did we have that dip? Whose fault was it? It was our fault. Let's be honest. Okay. We were all like Oprah Winfrey of real estate. And you get a house, and you get a house. And if you get a pulse, you get a house too. And so we helped bring about that whether it's, it was us, it was the lenders, it was a lot of different things. Absolutely. But what happened with this, with the 2020 recession? What did property values do?
Increase.
Right. So is this the same as 2008? No, because and that's the thing that we want folks to understand, is that just because the economy, we may have had a recession, and I did say had, it doesn't mean that we are in one still, kind of thing. So how about distressed properties? Now, there's definitely some opportunity to argue that we don't have, that the foreclosure moratorium has knocked those down, for sure. But look where we are. That's just from 2012 to today. Even over the last, look at where the foreclosure rate was over the last 3 or 4 years, right? So we don't have this massive influx or this huge supply of extra homes, REO properties, that kind of thing. Right now, it's right at 1%. All right. How much equity do our homeowners have? 42% of all homes are 100% paid off. That's fantastic. That really is absolutely fantastic, especially when you compare it where we were just 10, 12 years ago, kind of thing. So 42. Now, the other great thing here is that 58% of all homes in the US have at least 60% equity.
That's huge.
Right? So are we in the same place we were in 2008? Because I want you to be able to have this kind of information when you're talking to your clients, because that's really what I want. I want you to be able to intelligently and confidently speak about where we're really at. Because a lot of times folks are like, I'm just waiting for it to drop. I'm waiting for the bubble to pop, that kind of thing. Well, let's look at what's really, really going on. Let's look at real numbers, because I didn't just make these up, kind of thing. How about unemployment? This is the number of months unemployment was greater than 9%. So for the 2020 recession, 4 months.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not saying, we just lived through it, right? It wasn't good for everybody. But when you look at Even the 80s recession, 19 months. How about the Great Depression? 108 months. We had 4 months where unemployment was over 9%. So not nearly the same level of impact kind of thing. How about this? This shows the amount of debt service that Americans have had. And this goes from 1980s to today. And you can see that historically, I mean, it goes lower, pre-World War II and that, or World War II and that kind of stuff. But we're at the lowest amount of debt service, how much debt Americans are carrying. We're at the lowest level since 1980. So it's not like we're not over leveraged is what I mean. Now, how about when in 2008, where were we? Yeah, we had a lot of, we were really leveraged at that point. How about existing inventory? How much inventory did we have back in 2008? If you remember 2006, 2007, we were starting to run 9-10 months of standing inventory. Where are we right now? We're currently at 17 days, right? So we can't even measure in months right now. So how about cash out equities? This kind of goes along with the other one. If you look at where we were in 2006 on the number of people that were cashing out, taking money out of their homes. Now it has increased this year for sure over the last year and a half, but still it's less than half of where it was during the peak of building up to the 2008. So personal savings, Americans have saved more money today than they have since 1960. I mean, overall, it really is. We have some of the highest savings rate, and it seems weird to be able to talk about this at the same time as we know that the housing market is kind of separate kind of thing, especially when you break open renters versus owners. Because if you could afford to buy a house before COVID, the whole 9 yards, can you more than likely afford to buy a house now?
Yes.
Yes, most folks can. Now, it's not necessarily the same picture for the renters kind of thing. It has impacted the renters more. But with the stimulus money and that kind of stuff, a lot of Americans have been packing that away, been saving up. We have higher down payments now than we've had in years kind of thing. How about the default risk in the mortgage market? So you can see where we were leading up into 2008. When you look at it at this point, you can really see where the 2008 spike was coming. When you're in it, it's much more difficult to see. But when you look at how reasonable is lending standards now? Well, I mean, you can. There's definitely two schools of thought. You can say it's tough, but also, is the market healthy?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember no doc loans, stated income, that kind of thing.
Their refinances, like we've had people do cash out refinances, but they're not letting them. They can only finance out to 80%.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can cash out 100%.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's even a little more conservative on that.
Everything is on the lending side. So, a lot of those policies and procedures, while they were definitely a challenge for us for a long time, it really has provided a pretty stable base for us on there. So are we in a bubble?
No.
Are we?
No.
All right. Well, what about, now this is from Lawrence Young. He says, we're not in a bubble. It's simply a lack of supply. And so I want to talk about what that really means. So this is single family housing units completed by year since 1970. Over on the right, you'll see the green area. That's where we've been for the last 13 years. We have built less than we've needed for 13 years straight. Okay. U.S. housing is short 5.5 million homes, 5.5 million households, 5.5 million. That's a pretty significant number, right? How many can we build a year? How many do y'all think? Okay. We can build about 1.5 million houses a year. And that's for our current standing inventory right now. So we're short 5.5 million homes. We can build about 1.5 million a year. Now we want to see the build, but honestly, that's the most the builders have ever really built. We tend to build between 1.2 million and 1.4 million on number of homes. And actually the new construction starts over the last 2 to 3 months has actually been depressed, mainly due to supply issues, pricing. A lot of the builders are very concerned right now because They know they're pricing themselves out of the market. You know, a lot of the builders just out of pure cost are into the fours. And that's just not where the biggest amount of demand is right there, kind of thing. So we got 1.5 million houses that we can build, and we need 5.5 million houses, right? How about the millennials, right? Well, no. What is the largest generation that we have? Wrong. Millennials. So this right here, this shows, this is a graph which shows by year each of our different generations. So, you know, Generation Z, these are our newer folks here. This is our millennials. Millennials is the largest group that we have of Americans right now. After that, we have Gen X. Now, baby boomers used to be number one, right? Now, this is where the baby boomers are right now, right? So that is where a 32-year-old baby boomer is right here onto this scale, right? Okay. Over the next 5 years, next 4 to 5 years, baby boomers are turning 32. Why is that an important number to know? I'm sorry. I totally gummed that up. Over the next 5 years, you know, these millennials are all turning 32. I'm sorry. So why? Because the average first-time buyer age is 32 years. So over the next 5 years, the largest population group we have in the United States is turning to first-time buyer age. And we're short 5.5 million houses, and we can build 1.5 million a year. So are we in a bubble?
No.
I mean, do you see where I'm going with this? Because I want you to really have these numbers to be able to speak confidently and intelligently about this kind of thing. So where are we now? Let's look at the rest of the numbers, because, you know, I want to be realistic about everything happening in our marketplace kind of thing. So this is our mortgage rates from this week, 2.77. Now, it's not going to stay at 2.77. I don't mean for that to be it, but that's where we were on the 5th of August kind of thing. Now, this is where we went out, polled Freddie Mac, Fannie, Mortgage Bankers Association, and NAR, and said, where do you feel mortgage rates are going to go over the next year? And so you can kind of see, this is, I like to take the average, because, you know, if you just kind of say, I mean, you can say, I like NAR, or I like this one, but realistically, you know, we're looking at, you know, Q3 of this year, it's going to be about 3.17. Then 3.37, you know, by this time next year should be running 3.5, 3.6. What does that mean for our buyers? Going from a 2.7 to a 3.5 or a 3.6.
Lose purchasing power.
Right, it hurts their purchasing power, right? So is this a great time to buy? Yes or yes? I mean, I know that home prices are appreciating. I totally got that. But still, when you look at these interest rates, they are phenomenal, especially when you look at how interest rates are long-term. My parents' first house was like 13.5, and they were thankful to get it, kind of thing. What's our average days on market? Oh, it's right there, 17. Sorry. So, you know, right now nationwide, we're running about 17 days on market. It's highly separate by individual zip code and area and city, that kind of stuff. But overall, we know we have a huge supply demand issue going on. How about mortgages and forbearance? Because we see a lot of folks like, well, you know, there's foreclosures coming. There's the foreclosure moratorium. Right now, we have it's actually for this month, or for July, it was 3.91. It's continuing to drop. The number of mortgages in forbearance is going down. And those people have equity. So right now, Fannie Mae just released last week that serious delinquency is at 2%. And that means that, huh? Yeah, I mean, and that's for that's for homes that are 4 months or more behind in their mortgage payments. And so that's at 2%. And so that is a really small number, okay? If 80% of those homes went into foreclosure today, what would that add to our national housing inventory? Any guess?
1 or 2%.
6 days of inventory. If 80% of those homes went into foreclosure right now, it adds 6 days to our standing inventory. So we're talking about a blip. We're not talking about, like, You know, because, and we still go all this, hey, I'm looking for a list of foreclosures. I want HUD homes. Are there any? No. So now this here, you know, this kind of shows our year over year price changes. And so have we been seeing really steep price increases? We absolutely have.
Yes.
We absolutely have. So, but that's what I wanted to understand about this. It's not going to end, but it is going to flatten. Okay, because you can see where we were a year ago, right? So we've had these really steep increases versus last year. But guess what? We're coming up on last year now. And so as those numbers start coming up, what we're really looking at is around a 3.5% to 5% property value increase year over year.
That's a healthy market.
And that's a much more healthy market. Yeah, we can't, honestly, we can't sustain as an economy, we can't sustain double-digit price appreciation. That's not healthy, and that will lead to a bubble. But we're already starting to see signs that things are, I'm not going to say softening, but definitely where our inventory levels are slowly starting to tick up just a touch. Our buyer activity is actually down a little bit. We're actually going down into more seasonal levels right now. So number of mortgage applications out there, that kind of stuff, we're going into heading into like a normal, quote unquote, normal cycle for fall kind of thing. How about pending home sales? That line represents the historical norm kind of thing. So even pending home sales, even with where we're at, it is still above the norm. Now, this one is of concern, right? Because this shows over the last year what's happening with monthly mortgage payments in the US, right? It had been running right at that $1,000, range. It's up to about $1,100. Now, if you were to spread that off, it wouldn't look that drastic on there. This is just 1 month. I mean, 1 year. This is 12 months kind of thing. But you can see that we are having that the rise in pricing is resulting in a direct rise in the overall mortgage amounts for Americans right now. And that is of concern. However, historically, how do we rank historically? Because for me, home affordability is a very important factor. You know, we always have a lot of folks that, you know, everybody wants as much house as they can get, and I totally get that. But if you look at what percentage of the median income, you know, what percentage of your income was required to purchase the average home? And so in the 80s through 2000s, it was about 20%. In 2006, that was at the height leading into the crash. It was at 25%. We're at 14.4 right now. So do we have price issues? Yes, right? I mean, I don't think anybody's like no. I mean, we know that we're in a price appreciation market, right? But historically, are we in really, really bad shape? Because folks would you know, a lot of the pundits would talk about this is the end of the world kind of thing, you know, like this is just awful, you know, home affordability is terrible. Well, compared to our historical trends, not really kind of thing. Now, what's driving this right here? Low interest rates. Yep. You know, right now, the Fed is buying 10-year treasuries. Because if you were to lay the 10-year treasury and the mortgage rates for homes together, they flow exactly side by side kind of thing, or top and bottom kind of thing. So right now the Fed is buying a lot of 10-year treasuries, and they're going to continue to buy a lot of 10-year treasuries unless they see inflation really spike up. And we have seen inflation spike up, but the Fed still says that they're going to keep buying right now. They're not anticipating any change in buying policy at the moment. But what happens when the rates are going to go up? That's going to hurt that number. It really will. Kind of thing. So here's our housing affordability. You know, we were talking about affordability. And so here's the housing affordability index, 1992 today. This is where we stand. So you can see that since about 2008, it's really been elevated. Right? You can see where we were with the number of distressed properties, the whole 9 yards there. Even everyone thinks that, gosh, it was great that back in 2008 to be a buyer, right? Well, look, but you know, where were interest rates back then too? Yeah, kind of thing. So now this is total home sales in thousands. And this is one that shows, the number of sales that we've had for the last year. Now compare March last year versus this year, April, May. What do you think? Well, it is an increase. Yeah. So, but we are looking at the trend that we're going to be heading into, just so you know, is more pricing up, but the numbers are down. And it's mainly based on, why do you think that is? Why do you think that the trend is going to be that the number of transactions will not match last year?
One is supply.
Availability. Yep. That's probably the biggie right there, kind of thing. So when folks ask how the market is, first of all, think about the mortgage industry health. Look at supply versus demand. By the way, I'll give this. If anybody wants these slides, they're yours. No problem at all.
Yeah.
We have a 13-year backlog of building. We got millennials coming of age. We got forbearance is kind of evaporating. Our cash out refis are half where they were at the peak of 2006. 42% of all households are mortgage free. We have a higher savings rate. Our economy is looking really, really straight, and unemployment continues to drop. We were in the low fives this past month on unemployment. So Google reported that when is the housing market going to crash? Spike by 2,500%. Okay. So are our clients wondering what's going on? Yeah. Yeah. And so we've got to be able to answer these questions, right? These are the big questions out there. So, that's really what where I kind of want to end here is, these are the questions that we have to be ready to answer, that we have to kind of reach out and be able to speak about intelligently, because you can't have that huge of an increase of, is the market going to crash, without doing something about it. Either we just sit back and let people have this perceived idea of what's happening with the market, or we can help to educate them. So first one, are we in a bubble? No. And what would you say that we just went through would help you show that we're not in a bubble? Because I want you to use your data. That's the thing. It's not just about no, we're not. Like what that we just went through would prove we're not in a bubble.
Supply and demand.
Yeah. Okay. Great. When will housing crash?
It's not going to crash, but the increases are not going to probably be double digits. We're going to get to a balanced market of between 3% and 5% increase eventually.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. And being able to speak like that, does that settle your clients down?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When are prices going to drop?
Historically, in the last 5-6 recessions, or 7 actually,
Yeah.
there's only been a drop twice.
And the recession's over officially.
That was 1991 and 2008.
Yeah.
We've got double-digit growth in price.
So like what we're saying is, there is already pushback. People are spending and making up appraisal gaps and things like that. So like in our seller consults, we're trying to prepare them for 1%, whatever the purchase price is. If you've got a $300,000 house, $3,000 in some type of concession through the process.
Yeah. We're seeing where there has to be a lot more concessions.
Whatever amount.
Yep.
There's gonna be things that come up.
Yep.
Potentially.
And some of that's going to be seasonal, and some of it is just there's not that level of demand, and we're having more inventory finally, kind of thing. So, but when will prices drop?
I'm expecting to.
We can only build 1.5 million houses. We're short almost 6 million, and we have a huge population coming in. Is there really an opportunity for the market to drop?
No.
Okay. So is now a good time to buy?
Absolutely.
Okay. But one of the questions you're going to get with this one is, right, but home prices are so expensive, right?
But be more concerned about mortgage rates. Does that affect your payment?
Well, and not only that, real estate on average appreciates between 3% and 5% a year long term. If you bought a house in 2006 at the height of the 2006 market, how are you today, financially speaking? you're in great shape, right? Right.
You're great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You will.
Right, but like, but that, I guess, I mean, like if you bought at the height of the 2006 market, where are you today? You're in really, really great shape, kind of thing. And so, the whole idea of we're going to wait to get in the market. We're waiting on prices to drop. Well, guess what? You're going to pay more next year, and you're going to pay more the year after that, kind of thing. So there is no benefit in waiting, because if you're not playing the game, then you're not going to reap the benefits of it. That real estate appreciates over time. You can either pay somebody else's mortgage, or you can pay your own, and then build your own equity, kind of thing.
Did you see that call with Dave Ramsey and a buyer who said they had a lot of equity and they were able to move in with in-laws? Should they sell and then move in with in-laws? And he said, no, you should sell or you should buy.
Yes.
And he said just exactly what you're saying. Like, if you step out of the market, you will pay more, that the prices aren't going down and they haven't gone down.
Yep, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. So.
He said that some agents want Shannon to come back to the microphone and
Oh.
say
Oh,
something.
no, no, no.
Oh.
no, no, no.
Okay.
No, they wanted her
All right,
to
so
repeat what she said.
they just couldn't hear you. And so what Shannon was talking about was Dave Ramsey had a caller on.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. And they wanted to know if they should sell their home and go live with their parents. And Dave Ramsey's recommendation was, don't go live with your parents, sell your home, then go buy another one. Because you have to be in this market that if
You
you
step out, you'll pay more.
if you step out of the market, you are going to pay more. And it's very true. Look at what's happening. I don't have it on here, but if you look at what's happening with rents in the Atlanta area are up 15%. And guess what? They're going to go higher, because rent rolls happen as a basis, as a percentage of property value. So if I have a rental home and it's worth $100,000 more than it was 2 years ago, guess what's happening to your rent? It's going up. And so as leases get renewed and that kind of stuff, we're seeing pretty steep increases. So this idea of I'm going to wait out and just rent for now, that's going to hurt folks, kind of thing. So
Also too, with the hedge funds buying the properties that are on the lower end, that's really hurting a lot of folks too. This is kind of wiping them out.
yeah, but they're everyone's competing at that point right now. So is now a good time to sell?
Yes.
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 Yeah. But what's the biggest challenge for our sellers right now?
Finding something else.
Where do I move to, right? Kind of thing. And so you have to make your sellers a buyer first, or else you make them homeless.
Right.
So should I wait to buy?
No.
Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I mean, I know, but I want to really get you into that, trying to get us all going here, kind of thing. Should I wait to sell? Is the market going to keep going up? Should I wait?
Yes, but then you'll pay more. The market will keep going up, but you'll pay more.
Yeah.
You might make more, but you're gonna pay more. And then at that point, it's probably gonna be a higher interest rate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're going to start seeing the market not level off necessarily, but we're not going to. Not like waiting for another 6 months means that your house is going to be worth an additional 15-30% kind of thing. That's not going to happen, kind of thing. So how much do I need to offer above asking price?
I answer
Ooh.
that whenever you feel good about. I support you 100%.
Yeah.
A home is only worth what you're willing to pay.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you look out there, what are the one of the big phrases? The second biggest question on Google after is the market going to drop is how much do I need to offer over asking? That's the second biggest jump in the past 2 months. And so our buyers know they're going to have to step up to the plate. It's a very different buyer than it was even 9 months ago, kind of thing. Our buyers today understand a lot better about what's going on with the market. They're coming in with much more realistic ideals of what they have to do, that kind of thing. So
what's your answer today?
How much do they need to offer? Look, you have to be comfortable with that, and really that's my bottom line on that. I'm never going to be like, you have to offer $10,000, you have to offer $15,000. No, but we're going to pull comps, and I'm going to show you what other similar homes have sold for. Now we have to understand that this is an appreciating market, but I'm not going to recommend that you go crazy. Now, if you say, listen, I want this house and I don't care, well, then that's a completely different conversation than I'm done kind of thing. All right. Will there be more foreclosures?
So here's the thing, I think there's gonna be major political uproar if there is, because we've had, renting moratoriums and all of that. So if somebody put the risk of putting a down payment down and went through the process of buying a home, and we start having crazy foreclosures, and I mean, we told people when we were gonna do the forbearance that they would owe everything they owed, and then that's changed at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
Hell will be to pay if people start foreclosing when renters have been bailed out for a year and a half.
Well, and honestly, we don't, I do believe that, first of all, we just saw the amount of equity that Americans have right now. And so it's not the same place where it was, where people had cashed out all their money, where people were upside down in their houses. So will some folks need to sell? Bottom line.
Yes.
Right, but will they be able to sell and sell at a profit?
Yes.
They will.
A lot of them.
Or they're going to refinance and that kind of stuff. But there's no data that shows that there's going to be this big influx of foreclosures on the rental market. Yeah, there's a lot, we have the eviction moratorium on the rental market, but realistically, once that's over, I know most of the investors I know are just going to lease it out again. There's a huge demand for rentals. I mean, that 5 million household shortage, that's why everyone is moving into the rental, the rent. That's why we see all these big companies, Wall Street, all moving into the rental market, because there's not enough houses to be had, kind of thing. So we have a really high rental demand. We have high property values, and we have people that are all above water. So can we really have this big foreclosure wave coming? I really don't see how we can. Now, war, political upheaval, I can't predict any of that. None of us can. But just looking at the numbers that we have, I don't see where, given just a normal state of affairs, that we can have this crazy influx of foreclosures. I don't see whether, because honestly, anything we have is gobbled up so fast that it'll make your head spin. So.
But you got to get the message of options, because some people don't know. I mean, I had a client last year who had 70,000 in equity and was gonna go into foreclosure. In fact, it came down to like the day of closing that we were able to finally just get it skirted through, because I mean, it was such a thing. But she was gonna give up 70,000 to a bank that would take her home back.
Right.
She wasn't aware that she had that kind of money.
What Shannon was saying, just
Yeah.
again, I'm reiterating, is that she had a client that was going to go under foreclosure, but she had $70,000 in equity. And that is a really, really valid point. We need to be reaching out to let people know and to try and help them. I mean, I don't want that anybody has to sell their home in those kind of situations. It's never a fun time. But bottom line is, you'd be much better off with $70,000 than just getting foreclosed on. The challenge with that for just the average American is, they're hurting. They don't want to have to air their dirty laundry. They don't want to say they can't make their payment. And so a lot of Americans just shove their head in the sand until it's really, really bad.
And
So-
we had to pay, the power got shut off during the listing period. We had to pay, she didn't even have the money.
For the power to stay
cut
on.
the power on, but we gotta have the power on for showings.
Yeah.
And she's living in the house, so.
Wow.
And her
See?
bank account was so upside down that for the 70,000, it was like she had to open up a new account or whatever to put the proceeds in.
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
All right. Well, I ran a little bit long today, but I really wanted to share this information with everybody. So I appreciate you all. If you have any kind of questions you want to put up, I can try and address them later, but I'm trying to keep us kind of flowing. So I am going to kind of move us over to Maine. So Maine,
Hey, good morning, y'all. I'm here.
Wow. Okay. All right.
We've been paying attention, but before I start, Freddie had actually info. You mind coming up here? And while you were talking about moratorium and different things like that, Freddie did mention something about student loan. So I'm gonna let him talk about it because he knows about it. So we'd like to share. This is Freddie. Hi, y'all. Say hi.
Good morning.
Hi, Freddie.
Which y'all look? I can look at his guy. Okay. No, but my wife stumbled across some information about student loans where you can request a refund. They were suspended, I guess, last year in March. And I just called in yesterday to my service provider, which is Mohila service provider. You have a federal student loan. You can call in and say, I want all my money back, or request a refund for any payments made up until made after March 21st. Because I actually made a principal payment on the 23rd. I got it all back because I can pay off car, replace this computer over here, do some other things business-wise. So, and I'm going to let some of my clients know I know I pay it. Maybe they can, I have some potential buyers that need cash.
But you
So-
still-
Forbearance, then.
you still-
Now, would you still owe the money or is it?
You still owe the money, and like I said,
Okay.
it's a choice. Like if you,
It's like people that went to,
Oh, yeah,
got
yeah.
a moratorium for their housing. And it's not that because they can't afford paying for their mortgage payment, it's because they're taking that money and apply toward a higher interest rate credit card.
Yeah.
And so their debt to income looks really good at this point, but it is sometimes, depending on which credit services that they have, it is being reported as them being late. So when you get ready to go get that loan, make sure you explain that to the lender. And so they can be ahead, and all they have to do is validate it. And yes, most your seller will know that they will have paid that back at the end when they sell the property. But this is one way of getting clients to have some, I guess, cash up front.
look at, you're more cash.
If you need to do that, but definitely it's a choice they have to make, because at the end of the day, it is still a loan and you do have to pay it back. Okay, but my understanding is that everything's suspended from March of last year
Until January of next year.
up to January this year. So the student loan, you don't have to pay for it, but once again, it is a loan. It has to be
Alright.
paid back.
Just tell them buyers, don't go waste the cash. That's
Yeah,
simple.
don't go
waste
out there and
cash.
buy a Louboutin
No
Louboutin
stickers.
shoe that's worth $1,000. I can tell you
All
that right
right. It's all you, Ming.
All right, really quick. Hi, y'all. Just for most of you guys know me, I hope. If not, for the new agents, my name's Ming Richardson. I am the compliance broker for Maximum One, and I have another compliance broker, Stephanie Hyatt. She does. You guys get a lot of lovely notes from her, and I promise you, she is just doing her job. Okay, because we have now over 300 agents. We're well blessed and thankful to you guys, because some of you guys are my rock star in recruiting. And I do appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. But with that said, there are certain things that, because of Greg ruling and what they're requiring, we have to get those things in. And I promise you, I'm not sitting up here just trying to find who can I get today. I'm not. Promise you, I don't have time for that. I have kids. Okay. So anyways, I just want you to know that if you have any question in reference to special stipulations or any situation you have, call me. Okay. If I don't answer, text me. All my agents know I may not respond immediately, but I always respond at the end of before the end of the day. Because I want to make sure you guys are not getting yourself in a position where you're going to be in trouble down the road. I'd rather prevent it before it becomes an issue. Okay. And just a couple of things of what I'm seeing in the back end, just so you know, people that put an offer in with no due diligence period. Okay. So you have a 0 due diligence period. You have an earnest money of $5,000 because we like it high now these days. But that earnest money is not due for 3 days. And guess what? We're the holder. Okay. So the buyer got excited, overbid, and decide, well, last night they overbid, got up next morning, decide, hey, I don't want this house anymore. Okay. So just because you have 0 due diligence and your earnest money is not yet due does not mean that the buyer is not owed that money. Okay. So be very careful how you write this. As a broker and agents, please notify me immediately when you know this happens, because I had 2 calls within last month in reference to this. And they're like, my buyer just changed their mind. They were so overzealous the night before, and then now they got regrets. And so I always recommend minimum 2 to 3 days for due diligence, even the one that want to be very aggressive on the offer. Just because if that earnest money is not turned in, even though they change their mind, doesn't mean they're out of obligation. Seller has a right to sue them for that earnest money, okay? So please be very careful with that. And also, the other thing, what I'm seeing is the appraisal gap. I know we put the special stip out there, and actually had Dana and I had a lengthy conversation about this. All right, so if you have an FHA or VA, okay, even though your language and appraisal gap say the buyer will pay up to $10,000, okay, if there's a low appraisal, guess what? Buyer can terminate if they don't have the money to come up with, because they're gambling at the time when they made the offer. And that happens sometimes, y'all. Okay, they'll tell our agent, say, yeah, I'll pay up to $10,000, gambling on the fact that because the market's increasing every day, that they wouldn't have to come up with a 10 grand, and most they'll come up to 5 grand. And now you got an appraisal gap of $15,000. Now buyer definitely don't have that. Not even a 10, they only have 5. Okay, based on FHA and VA, buyer can terminate and get their earnest money back, even though you have an appraisal gap. Because your VA and your FHA trumps, that's federal law, any special stipulation you put anywhere. Listing agent, I know I got your ears perked up, okay? Because I thought for a fact that, hey, you know, this is guaranteed, we're guaranteed this money. That's not always the case, and the buyer can terminate because of federal guideline and get their earnest money back. Even though in special stip, it says the buyer will bring up to 10,000. So listing agent, if I were you, I'll make sure that you have validate proof that the buyer actually has 10,000 above closing costs and down payment. If you don't, you're not servicing your client properly. Okay, so I do want to bring that up. I know that kind of hit hard for some people, and it hit hard on me too when we had a very lengthy discussion. I said, so are you telling me those appraisal gap doesn't mean a thing? She said, yes, because the federal law states they have the right to terminate based on that appraisal contingency. So it is important, y'all. Okay. All right. So I do want to bring that point up too. We have a really great time this past month in August when we have Wind Down with us. Okay. So the next one, we actually have about 30 agents showed up. I at least have 1 or 2 from each offices. So for the one that travel to McDonough, thank you. We appreciate you and love having you here. And I thought the discussion was great. I had great feedback. With that said, Shalinda is looking at switching office to airport for the next one. Just so the reason why we're doing airport McDonough, because it's the main central hub from the other side to come in. So, and we want to make sure everybody have an opportunity to come in. So the next one is going to be on September 9 airport. It's a Thursday night from 6 to 8. And so we'll put an announcement out as well. Buffini updates. Just want you guys to know, for those of you that didn't come in for Buffini, please do come in. We're on the second week this past Monday. And if you need to catch up, all the branch manager has the booklet and they will rerun the video for you. So please come in and do that. I promise you, if you follow this step, you should grow your business 4 or 5 times, honestly. And Buffini is huge on referrals. And I can tell you, isn't it always easy doing referrals and the cold call? Absolutely all day, okay? We just had McDonough here, just had a geranium festival, and just want you to know, agents, whichever location you're in, okay? If you know of any local festival and stuff like that you want to participate in or want to get the broker involved, let us know. We'll be more than happy to investigate in it and see what the cost is. And honestly, it's great for y'all to develop in your community and get things done and get your name out there. Okay, and we want to do that with you. And we have great sponsors that will always give a really good price. So anyways, Tom Ferry, just want a quick reminder, is October 5 to 7. So for those of you that has attended my Tom Ferry in the past, and last year couldn't do it because COVID, please join us. We have a lot of fun. Our sponsor give us lunch. I don't know if we're gonna do lunch, breakfast or lunch, or lunch and dinner this year, but it just depends on the time of Tom Ferry. But either or, we'll have a good time. Normally we have margarita night with Mexican, barbecue night with beer, and Italian night with wine. So we have a good time, seriously. And please encourage you guys to bring anybody you think might benefit. This is not limited to just maximum one agent. We'd like to invite the community and your friends that is in real estate business and share the wealth, okay? With all that said, really quick, for those of you who are now moving, some of you guys are doing listing and rental. One of the biggest issues you have is when you screen the applicant, how do you screen them, you know, legally and fairly without getting to an issue of fair housing? We are now actually have a partner up with Rent Prep. If you would just put rent app at maximum1.com, it actually goes to Woodworth, will help you. Basically, we invoice anybody 18 and over $60. What it cover is their background check, their income verification, so they can't lie about their income, and also their credit check. Okay, I'll tell you what they were doing and what have you. Like we just recently had one where she did exactly what I just told you earlier, which is they took their money for mortgage, paid off their high credit card debt. So on the mortgage shows like they didn't pay, but because of moratorium, they were able to defer it and they were fine with it. But what they want to try to do is get rid of 25% interest, which I don't blame them. Okay. So, you know, stuff like that can be explained. But with that said, if you guys are interested, it is rent app at max1partners.com. It is $60 for anybody's 18 over. I don't care if they're not the person liable for it, but I'm sure the landlord wants to know anybody that's 18 over that's moving in the house. Okay. And the way it works is that you give us information. You can fill out the app using a GAR or RE form, send it to rent app at maximum one, and we'll invoice them and let them know that until they pay that invoice, nothing's going to be run. Okay. Once it's run, typically take about an hour and a half, and the landlord and the agent will get a copy of it. Okay. So hopefully that's provide you guys another avenue of services for your clients. And that way it takes that liability out of your hand. The landlord get to decide who they want. And it's a fair all way across. But with that said, I think that's wrap it up for me. I'm not trying to be long-winded. Love you, Al. My next introduction is Melody at the airport location. Melo, you got it, girl.
Yes, thank you. Hello, good morning, everyone. I am just going to chat very briefly about the upcoming CE classes that we have, especially here in the airport office. So the next class that we have here will be a Lunch and Learn. It's going to be taught by Scott Eves with Old Republic. And he's going to do a marketing toolbox. With Old Republic, they have a system where it's set up where agents will be able to go in and just do a lot of different marketing, advertising. It's a whole app that they have. So it's very beneficial. It's in person only, August 25th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30. And then we are starting back here at the airport doing Wind Down Wednesdays. I know we have not done it in a while, since I want to say March. So, excuse me, that's the next event that we're having here in the airport is Wind Down Wednesday is going to be that same day, August 25th, from 6 to 7:30. We will have sponsors that will provide wine, appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, and things like that. And then the last CE class that I have here in my office will be on August 26th. It's going to be Sharon Mason with Silverton Mortgage, and she's going to be doing a mortgage 101, and that is going to be in person as well as Zoom. And you can always find all of our training going to be on mx1training.com, where you can go in, or you can go into the Eventbrite and then select Maximum One, and then you can find the classes. But it's easier to just do mx1training.com, and then you can sign up for any type of classes, or you can email me at max1airport@gmail.com. If you know for a fact that you need to have a CE class and you need to get a certain amount of hours or anything like that, just send me an email, and then either I can get the class scheduled or just go ahead and get you registered for a class. Which one? The mortgage? The mortgage is August 26th. And that's all that I have from the airport.
All right.
Just really quick,
you, Mello.
before Mello goes, Alan, really quick. Melody does all our calendar. So if you have an event that you want to do, please coordinate with Mello, and she'll make sure to put that in calendar, and we'll try to blast it out through internally as well. Are you out?
Oh, yep, it's up to Adrian now, so I'm gonna move out of the way. Ooh, Adrian.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. All right. All right. That's enough. That's enough.
Cheer for them. For their manager too.
So first I just wanted to introduce myself. Oh, here, right?
There, yeah.
I've met a lot of you and it's been a pleasure. Adrian McDaniel, I'm the branch manager and social media coordinator, community engagement girl. So with social media, I do all the posts for Maximum One. So if you don't follow, shame on you. Get your phone out and redeem yourself right now and follow on Facebook. It's Maximum One Realtor Realty Partners and Real Estate Life with Max One. I like to keep everybody posted about all the upcoming events, the things that are going on in your offices and my office. It's just for all 5 branches, what's going on. And there's a lot of relevant content as well. So make sure and follow that. I also do a lot of community engagement things. Carrie and I go to board meetings, Women's Council, Realtor events. We're actually doing, there's going to be a golf tournament coming up at the local board for Noonan. And you guys can all get involved, like Alan and Ming were saying, the festivals and stuff. It's a great way to generate leads. So let me know if you want to get involved, and we can definitely partner up with that. Oh yeah, I was asked to tell you a little tips and tricks about social media that I like. So my favorite thing is friends lists. Friends list is where you put all of your contacts or friends into different categories. And this is great for marketing purposes so that you can market specifically to those people, and the rest of your friends and family don't have to hear about it constantly. So I would be happy to share with you how to do that if you don't know already. And also
Thursday class we have coming up then.
Okay. Well, I was about to say, we've got Lisa Ricciardi from Discovery Inspections. She's actually going to come on the 25th for our lunch and learn and do a class called Facebook for Business. And she, y'all, is amazing. I took this class 2 years ago and she just keeps expounding on it. So if you guys are, discouraged about marketing with social media, I know a lot of you are, because it's time consuming. And it's hard to get into it if you don't really know the ins and outs. Come to the lunch and learn. You will learn so much, and it won't be a chore anymore to do free advertisement on social media. So definitely come to that on the 25th. We've also got a WCR Women's Council Fayette our next membership meeting is this Thursday, August 12th, sorry, in Peachtree City at Due South. And then the WCR Coweta will meet next Tuesday, the 17th at 11 in Noonan at Art and Jake's. The 17th is also Ming's class here in our Noonan office though. So be sure to, register for that on the Eventbrite. And then the board is supposed to be doing their members meeting on the 18th of this month as well. So we've got a lot of things locally going on that you can be a part of, and I'll go with you. I've already got my tickets, so I'll save you a seat. And then next month, we're really excited to do relaunch in this office on the 13th. So it's a 2-week, yeah, Debbie's coming. Yeah, she's already registered. So yeah, it's a 6 class and you get 25 hours of post-license CE credit.
If you need it.
If you need it.
Otherwise it's 18.
And if you,
Regular CE.
okay, yep. It's 18 if you don't need those post-license hours. If you just want to come for the CE, you can come for any of those classes over the course of the 2 weeks. There's 6 different days. And Alan will be here with us in Noonan and teaching all of those. So we're really excited. Go ahead and sign up because, space is limited with our training room. So hope to see you there. Thanks.
That's going to be an issue. We're probably going to move to Tuesday here. All right. Let's see. So that was it. So Mr. Wordsworth, are you with us? Because if you'd like, we'll cheer for you too if we need to, because we don't want you feeling lonely. All right, let's not go overboard.
Hey everybody. So I am here just to talk a little bit about a couple of the things that I offer here in the Fayetteville office. Of course, I'm in charge of all the billing, so if you have any billing questions, you can just reach out to me or Ming, but generally just reach out to me as the first contact. So one of the things that I offer here in the Fayetteville office is videos. If you've never recorded a video, if you're scared to record videos, even if you don't like taking pictures, which a lot of y'all do not, a lot of y'all get scared. Don't know why, but a lot of y'all get nervous taking pictures.
We can hear you when you face the microphone, just so you know.
Well,
there
I got
you
the
go.
Microphone now. How about that? Is that better? Alan, is that better? Okay, anyway. So again, if you want to schedule some time with me, all you got to do is hit me up with a text or with an email and just let me know what time you want to come in. We can do videos. We do photo shoots. We got the dedicated video room in the back here in Fayetteville. Or I can meet you at any other office. You just got to give me some time to get there. But other than that, I really want to talk about one of the, let me find the flyer. I want to talk about one of the classes that we have coming up in Fayetteville. So this is a lunch and learn for this Friday, and it is about credit. So this one is going to be sponsored by Melissa Christian and Nancy Barlow. And this is with New American Funding. And it's a lunch and learn this Friday at the Fayetteville office from 11:30 to 1. And we're going to have National Credit Care instructor Randy Dillo come in. He's flying in from Colorado. And this class is one of those classes that you don't want to miss. By the end of it, you're going to know so much about credit, even your own credit. Everybody who takes this class comes away with it thinking, did not know that. That's the one thing they always take away. It's, I did not know that. So this class is one of those classes that helps you, it helps your clients get a better understanding of their credit. So even when you go to a presentation with a client, a potential customer, and you want to say, hey, let me be your real estate agent, let me be your realtor. You want to make sure you have things in that packet that lets them know that you're the most qualified. So when you come out of this class, you know all this stuff about credit, it lets them know that, oh, he's done his homework. Oh, she's done her homework. She knows everything I need to know. So this class, again, don't want to miss it. It's going to be this Friday, August 13th, from 11:30 to 1 p.m.
Okay.
I think that's about it. I don't know if anybody else wants to speak. Because once I'm done, it's pretty much.
When is flipping the script coming, Wordsworth?
I'm trying to confirm that now, but it should be next week. I'll
Okay.
send out an email to everybody. And that's going to be with our 2 agents from our McDonough office, Kareem and Brittany Henry, who do a ton of flips in the area. Super successful with flips. So they're going to go over the do's and don'ts of flipping houses. And Brittany's actually super good at like these really, I don't want to say cheap, but inexpensive crafts. She does videos on Facebook all the time. I tell her she needs like a lifestyle blog, but she'll get 3 or 4 things from the Dollar Tree. And by the time she's finished, it looks like a $300 centerpiece. Don't know how she does it, but she's going to do some things like that, show us some videos and stuff. And again, they're going to go over the do's and don'ts of flipping and spotting a good investment property. And that's going to be a lunch and learn as well. I'll confirm that date and I'll have that emailed out to everybody.
All right. Well, thank you, Wordsworth.
No problem.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Did we lose the McDonough office? Maybe. All right, Miss Nancy, would you like to go ahead and go ahead? Wordsworth? Go ahead and mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. You guys are the best. Thank you. So I'm going to introduce the new agents for this month, or for last month and this month. Ashley Roundtree Cook in the McDonough office, Carolyn Brown in the McDonough office, Candace Brown in the McDonough office, Tyrone Keeling in the Conyers office, Juanita Walker in the Conyers office, Lonnie Hales in the Fayetteville office, Judy Pate in the Noonan office, Awala Kenrolabu in the airport office, Priestley Rogers in the Noonan office, Miranda Rogers in the Noonan office, Cheryl Gibson in the Noonan office, Karen Allen at airport, Brian Meckling in Noonan, Doral Wells in Noonan, Shauna Rickards in McDonough, and Donna Aiken-Williams in Noonan, Latasha Cameron in Noonan. And there's 17 that we, new hires. Can you see me? 17 new hires. Well, also too, we have a lot of free tools that are useful in your business, and some of the agents that have been with us for a while may not know about them. Last Monday or Tuesday, the 3rd, I did a little class to get you familiar with the new tools. And I'm going to do that again. I haven't picked a date yet, but I am going to do that again. Probably it was within this month for sure. And when I do pick a date, I will for sure let you know. But it was a very popular class, and I think most of the agents that took it were very appreciative. Also too, coming up tomorrow, Ming will be in the office from 9:30 to 12:30. She'll be teaching licensed law. So if you guys need licensed law, in the Conyers office, it'll be taught tomorrow. Also too, the Fall Festival in Conyers is going to be October the 16th from 10 to 5. It's a Saturday. If you're interested in doing something, you are? Okay, absolutely, okay. We can get that scheduled, but it is a really nice Old Town Fall Festival, and it's just exactly that. There's usually apple cider and all kinds of crafts and lots of new fun stuff to look at. For this class that I'm going to teach, I'm going to go over Max One Works. I'm going to tell you about Spokio. I'm going to talk about list reports. I'm going to talk about Utilities Connect. And there'll be a whole lot of different things that you probably haven't seen yet. My inspiration for the day is, remember, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And that's it for me, you guys.
Yay, Nancy. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, we are. I was hoping to introduce you guys to Sharice, and so she's our new branch manager in the McDonough office, but we're appearing to have technical difficulties kind of thing. So if you see Sharice, give her a shout out kind of thing. And we're very blessed to be able to work with her. And so next time she'll introduce herself kind of thing. Where we kind of wanted to go right now. Let me pull this up real fast like. Sorry, I know I'm not showing you my best side. All right, so I am, well, I can pull this up. Apparently I'm having technical difficulties now. So this is, oops. All right. Apparently I am, yes. So we're going to try it the right way this time. Hopefully we are all seeing a blue screen. Yes, that was what I was going for. All right. So I want to go over who our top sales agents are for the month. So all the branch managers in your locations, if you would, now's time for us to give out our monthly awards kind of thing. So all right, so hope everyone's been able to get their awards out, that kind of thing. We are gonna celebrate your success, but we're not necessarily gonna tag you. Some of our folks don't like to have they don't want to necessarily promote that. And I'm not trying to make people hound you and bother you about joining their other brokerage either, kind of thing. But by the same token, we want to celebrate you. We want to celebrate your accomplishments, and we really want to lift you up, kind of thing. So that is all we have for today. We ran a little bit long, and I know it is entirely Alan's fault. But I had a lot of really good information I really wanted to share with you. I want having these conversations is so important to helping our industry and to helping your business. And so being able to have that conversation was really important to me. So next month we are going to play Jeopardy, and we're going to have the offices competing with each other. And so we're going to have 6 different categories, and then all the branch managers are keeping score, and then we're going to have prizes. So we're playing Jeopardy next month at the sales meeting. And I just want to tell you, thank you all so very much. I love and appreciate you. If I can be of any service, myself, Ming, any of the branch managers, please holler at us. So thank you very much. Please have a wonderful day.